Hey Pepper Gang, you might be firing up Seekers of Skyveil for the first time and have no idea who to play as a solo. That's where I come in to help. I specialize in solo play and put about 100 hours in the game throughout alpha and beta, almost all solo with no fill. My experience in many extraction games has helped me pick up Seekers fairly well, and I'm hoping to impart some knowledge to you all, especially if it's your first ever extraction game. This game is definitely one of the toughest solo extraction games I've played, but it's very rewarding, very different from team play, and you can succeed with several options. There's quite a few Seekers you can use, and if you get good enough, you might be able to use any Seekers solo, but I'm here to share my personal favorites so far and why I like them for solo play. I plan on making more personalized guides for individual Seekers down the road. And you have any questions after watching, swing by my live stream on Twitch to ask there or drop it in the comments below. And also a reminder that this game is still in development, everything you see is subject to change, and I'm also using some footage from previous tests while using Cira Leaf's ability guide in the official Discord. I suggest joining the Discord if you're new as well. There's a lot of helpful people in there too. Now let's start with my all-time favorite, June. If you're an FPS player like me, June's double guns are very appealing. I love using June as a solo because on top of his normal spacebar dash, he has the dive ability, which can act as an extra getaway, very important when fighting teams. June's passive is Showtime. For every hit you make, you stack Showtime bars up to 10, which you can then release for a powerful attack with his right click, Flourish. If you have a full Showtime bar, when you land the right click, his cooldown immediately resets on it, so you can shoot it back to back times. His next ability is Blast Bomb, which does AoE magical damage, unlike the physical damage his other attacks cause. Finally, his ult is Grand Finale. It's amazing for solo clearing PvE and bosses quickly, since it always does critical damage on them, and I think time is money, so I use his ult often to clear mobs. In PvP, this ult will do an extra 5% damage upon each successful hit on a player up to 10 times. I use his ult to quickly finish 1v1s or just to third-party fights in the middle of all the PvE chaos. I also like to isolate players and then hit them with the ult to quickly finish them and then disengage. You will see a common theme between my most played Seekers is that they have some getaway movement ability on top of their kit. If you're not into guns and prefer a melee-based Seeker, Rhea the Lava Mama might be a good fit. I was surprised how well she plays solo, and that's mainly because of her Soulfire ability, her E. She gains 25% movement speed bonus while dealing magical damage with it, and to use this ability, you do need to stack her passive. It's called Heat, similar to June's the way it stacks. You gain heat stacks up to 100 by dealing damage. Soulfire allows me as a solo to outrun people when chased or chase down solo players too. As you're using Soulfire, you will notice your heat bar decrease as you use it, so you gotta recharge it back up. Now with her, you have to be in people's faces in order to be effective, so again, you really have to enjoy melee. Her left click and right click attack, World Cleaver, are big bruising attacks. Next ability is Tectonics. It's a wall-like ability that you can use to trap Seekers running away from you, or use it to split players and go all out when they're isolated with your other abilities. And her ultimate Bull Rush works great in splitting people up, since you can pull them underground and away from their team, all while dealing physical damage. Rhea is a strong all-around Seeker that did surprise me how viable she was solo, but she also excels in team play. Now on to my third Seeker that I put some time into, Cira, formerly known as Alice. She's a great support character that flourishes in team play, but surprisingly had a lot of success in solo play with her as well. I didn't get as much PvP with her, unlike I did with Rhea and June. I mainly used her to farm, get loot, and get away from people, but I survived quite a bit with Cira. Her passive is Zephyr, which grants a 30% movement speed buff to her. Her left click does physical damage and reduces the cooldown of her right click, Cloud Burst, Fusalid, someone's gonna correct me in the comments. Anyway, that attack slows enemies with this ability and does magical damage. And then you will notice the theme in her abilities is that they either slow or knock back enemies. Her Q, Updraft, is an AoE that knockbacks enemies, and her E, Gust, has a wind gust that pushes people away. You can also use Gust to give yourself an extra boost. You just gotta place it right. Now lastly, her ultimate is so fucking good. It's Supercell, which launches a barrage of tornadoes to the enemy, dealing insane magical damage. Her spacebar gives her a shield and any allies nearby, as well as granting them movement speed with her passive. Her kit is great for disengaging and separating yourself from any enemies, but I did find her attacks a little weaker in PvE compared to my other favorites. All three of my most played vary quite a bit in playstyle, as you can see, but June is still my number one, the one you will see me playing the most, but I do like to mix it up here and there. Now, however, an honorable mention is the newest Seeker, Kumu. This bodacious frog is the newest Seeker added, so I barely have time on him, but from the few raids I did with him during a recent creator test, he has insane leaping ability with his spacebar. Look at this clip, my very first 1v1 I had with him. Boing, boing, boing. Oh shit, he might actually get me here. GG's. I can see myself playing with Kumu quite often. His leap alone makes him great for getting away or surprising teams as a solo. Now, like I said earlier in the video, if you get good enough at Seekers, you can make a lot of the ones on the roster viable solo, but these are my top Seekers I just put time into. I have seen solo players have success using Auric and Narrate too, but I have yet to learn those. A lot of the game revolves around map knowledge, understanding the secret abilities so you can counter them accordingly, and consumable knowledge as well, so with time, I'm sure you will find the best secret that suits you. I encourage you to switch Seekers if you aren't feeling them or struggling to understand them. Sometimes it takes a little longer to find the right fit in these type of hero-based games, but once you do, it feels natural, easy, and the game feels a lot more fun real quick. That's how June felt for me. But that's it for this one. Hope it helps you with some direction as a new player. Thank you again for watching. See you on Twitch, but if you want more Seekers right now, check out the playlist suggested here at the end. That's where I will be adding guides as I make them. Thanks again, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.